Okay, welcome everyone to Entrepreneurs Visiting Victor. I'm your host, Victor Didash, and I hope you're having an amazing day so far. And we have an awesome guest today. She is certified in three modalities: NLP, general coaching, and nutrition. She is a top earner in network marketing, and she's also a best-selling author. So let's welcome Mindee Rosen. How are you doing today, Mindee?
I am doing amazing, Victor. Thank you so much for asking me to come on and share my story with your audience. And in turn, I want to be able to share this out to my network so that they get exposed to you. I really believe that collaboration is the key to greatness.
I totally agree. So I'm looking forward to the wisdom you're going to be sharing with us today. I know our audience is going to get a lot out of it. So what I'd like to do is let's just start off with your story. How did you get involved in working online and getting into network marketing? So share a little bit about your background with us, please.
That's a great question. And I am coming upon, I can't believe that I'm saying this, almost 8 years. March 2nd will actually be my 8-year anniversary that I collectively made one decision that was most probably the scariest decision that I had ever made. And it's certainly been a journey. None of this happened overnight. It's happened over time. And every day I step in and still become the best version of me by learning and growing and tapping into those who have already gone down that path. But it all began, I had a very, very prosperous and successful career for 17 years in specialty sales. And it was one day that I was experiencing some issues that I was going through, that I just made that decision that it was time. I didn't want to work 65 hours a week anymore. I didn't want to work for somebody I really disliked, and that I was going to step into what was possible. And ever since, I've been building full time now. And like I said, it's almost 8 years.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, so that happens to a lot of people. I came from a corporate background too, so I know some of the frustrations you had. So you wanted something different. You were frustrated with the things that's going on, and I think maybe some of the people watching who are in a corporate background might be looking for something different. Might take your story as an inspiration for what's possible, and that they don't necessarily have to stick with what they're doing right now. There are other choices available, there are opportunities available. So what would you recommend to those people that were in your situation almost 8 years ago and they're saying, man, I really don't like what I'm doing right now, but I'm afraid to try something new, like working from home, being an entrepreneur?
Is to really embrace and step into that fear and be okay with stepping into uncertainty every single day, because that's how you grow. That's how you learn. And I look back now and I think, oh my God, I've grown so much, because even though I was in the top 1 to 3% for all those years, I won so many contests and I had been through every different selling model. It, until I became an entrepreneur, that I was really, that I engulfed in what is personal development. I went to college, I spent this time as being a successful rep, but I was never introduced to really how profoundly powerful personal development is. So that is really has been a key step for me and anybody that, last year, and we're still going through it. So we're coming out on the other end. But for those of you that, have gone through a really difficult year, I connect with people all over the world. And for some, last year was the most difficult year. And some of you are still going through that. Just know that there are so many things out there that are possible. And the only way that you're ever going to know, don't ever look back in doubt, just be open to what is possible and engage. If somebody comes to you with an idea, a concept, something that you can step into, even if it's something that you step in and work very part-time to begin with, most people don't jump all in and just say, okay, I've made this decision. Not everybody has that opportunity to do so. So you can step in and start building your dream do your day job, and at night work on what will become. And over time, not overnight, and anybody that tells you it's going to happen overnight, they're not telling you the truth. It takes time. It takes making a committed decision that you want more. Like, it's not like I had this great job, but I worked for somebody that was just, it had nothing to do with my ability. And for 2 years, I put up with it. So if you're in that same situation, let me share a quick story. I had been promoted and I had worked for one gentleman for many years. And I went out on maternity leave to have my second son. And he just thought I was going to be, we used to all call his wife Patty Cakes. And I guess he thought, he assumed that I was going to make the decision not to come back. I loved what I did. So we both got promoted and I acquired somebody new to work with. And from the day I met her, it had nothing to do with my capabilities. It had to do with, sometimes women can be catty, and it had to do with the fact that there was jealousy and there was this push, and I put up with it for 2 years and I stepped into it and I fought through it. And then I was like, I have two amazing kids. And at that point I had somebody living with me, helping with my kids. And I'm like, why am I going to work every day to put up with her? And I was just like, there's more. Like, and as much as like it was so scary and the things that happened for the first 6 months, it wasn't an easy transition. Now I can look back and coach other women on the process because I went through it, and I can look back on, I don't want to ever say you make a mistake, but you could do things a different way. And now I would have done things differently those first 6 months. I would have went all in and not allow rejection or the fear of being judged like into my world. And it really took a lot of work on me, stepping into who, because I have more to give, I have more to offer, and really making things up here like rock solid where nothing can, ruin my day. And there's always things, now with the way things have evolved, there's so many things always being thrown towards us, even as parents, even with what's going on in the world. And the most important thing that any of you could do that will watch this on the replay, that will listen to this content in the future, is work on this. Because when you work on this and you have that rock solid mindset, you become unstoppable. You can go from underestimated to unstoppable in time.
Yeah, no, that's some great stuff there, and I totally agree. The first thing you really need to work on, I think, one of the great things when you do become an entrepreneur and now a marketer is you've got to focus on your mindset, your personal development. I think that's something when I was in the corporate world as well. They really didn't stress that much to us. It was just do what you're told to do and, keep the company happy. I really never really thought a whole lot about personal development when I was working. But when I got to working online, I realized, man, without personal development, you can't go anywhere. And I agree. You cannot, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to be a big success within 2 or 3 weeks. And if you meet a guru who says he's going to make 100,000 in 3 weeks, run. Get the hell out of there, because that person is lying to you. It's going to take time, but if you're patient, you build that solid foundation. In time, you're going to get those results. And I like what you said. Some people think, should I give it all up right now to do it full time? No, don't do it full time. For the vast majority of people, I think it's best to do it part time, because number one, you have a check coming in, so you're not worried about finances. So if you don't really have a successful business in 6 months or a year, you can still relax and not work because you still have money coming in. Whereas if you just quit your job and nothing's coming in 6 months, you're going to start worrying about your bills. So I agree, start part-time. The vast majority of people do it part-time. And, it's going to take some time, but with effort and with patience and consistency. You got to be consistent. Most people are not consistent. It's going to happen. And like you said, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because a lot of these things are new. We're not used to doing it. And we love to be comfortable because we're afraid of new things. our brain hates new stuff because they see it as, the brain sees it as a danger. So anything uncomfortable, the brain does not like it. It likes what's familiar to us, but you have to get uncomfortable, because that's, like you said, that's where you grow. There's a saying, you can't steal second base with one foot on first base. You have to take that risk sometimes. Now, it has to be an intelligent, calculated risk. It can't be reckless, but you need to take risks sometimes to get to the next level. That's the only way your life's going to get better and to change. And your story, I think, could resonate with a lot of women who were working in the corporate world, who might want to like be work from home, maybe spend more time with their family, and realize they can have a great opportunity, great living, they can really have a successful business working from home, and realize all they need to do is they need to shift their mindset, shift the personal development, and be open to that opportunity. I think a lot of people are close themselves off because they are so limited in what they're thinking. Whereas if they open themselves up to possibilities and opportunities, a great opportunity could come their way. But a lot of times we miss it because we close ourselves because of our limited thinking.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'd really recommend is, if you're not sure what you want, and I'll preface that because once you decide what you want, I posted this on my wall today. Once you decide what you want, you don't need to know the how. The how will come. You first engineer any concept to achieve any goal. It's get still, get quiet, and listen. Allow yourself to listen to those thoughts that are going through your mind. And when you get really clear and you get clarity, and you make that decision of what you want, you can achieve anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. And too many people focus on the how. So they want something to say, but then they stop themselves by saying, "How can I do this?" But I agree with you. Once you focus on the why, if you plug in, your subconscious mind will go to work. But it needs instructions from you. What do you want? The subconscious mind will not go to work if you don't tell it what it wants. You say, "This is my goal. These are my dreams. This is what I want." It'll go to work and it'll come up with a way to get you to those dreams, to your goals. So I think that's very powerful. And I'm a big believer and practicer of meditation and visualization, because I think those things, number one, it opens you up to possibilities, and you come with a lot of great ideas for getting you to your why, to your goals. I think meditation helps. Visualization I found very helpful. I assume you probably agree too, because visualization helps, because when you visualize the kind of life you want, there's a structural tensions in your subconscious mind between the kind of life you currently have and the kind of life you're desiring and visualizing. And your subconscious mind can't deal with that tension. So it goes to work to get you that life that you are visualizing. So I think that's one reason why visualization is powerful. Plus, your brain really, your subconscious mind is so powerful. People don't realize how much it can do for you. And they're not aware because they only focus on the conscious. But I think if they work, and I'm sure when you're working NLP, you realize the power of the subconscious mind.
Yeah, and it's really, I'll take that one step further. Visual is, to me, part of it. But when you put yourself in that visualization, and any goal or dream you desire that you want to achieve, you have to put yourself into that state. You have to picture. For me, one of my goals is that I will buy something on the beach where I wake up every single morning and do my meditation from my balcony. And the more I put myself into it and I can feel it, I can hear the ocean, I can envision what it looks like, even though we haven't manifested that yet, it will come to fruition. Even if it doesn't happen in the next 3-6 months, it will happen. No doubt in the next 2 years, I will have that house. And it might not be our permanent house. It might be something we start. And I don't want anything big and grand. I just want something that is right there where I wake up every day. When I aspire to hit the top rank in my company, and write this down, is that before you're going to hit any goal, it doesn't matter whether it's becoming a top leader, whether it's manifesting the community you desire to build, you have to know, again, exactly what you want, and you have to feel it. So before I hit the top rank in my present company, I ran against some obstacles, and I had to put myself every day in visualization. I had to feel it. I had to envision the dress I was going to wear when I walked across stage. I had to vision myself making and acknowledging all the people, because it's never about you becoming a top leader. It's about the army of people that you help to earn $500 or $1,000. It's never about me. It's about all the people that I've made an impact on. Now, if I didn't continue to do that every single day as I came across those challenges, then before you're going to hit any big goal, and this has happened to me so many times, is I come across resistance. I come up across those things that want to say, you're never going to do this. And when you can fight through that and you can visualize it and you can put yourself, no matter what it is, another thing that I was able to manifest, but it came through visualization. It came from writing it down, which I think is so important too, is I wanted to meet my mentor, Tony Robbins. And I visualized it every day. I wrote it down every day for a year. And then when I had that first opportunity, it didn't happen. I'm like, I know without a shadow of doubt, this is going to happen. It just wasn't in alignment. And sure enough, I continued to do that. And not even 3 months later, and not only did I get to meet Tony Robbins, but he picked me up and he swirled me around in the air. So if you don't really believe that whatever it is you want to bring in, you're not going to be able to pull it in. And I know for some that are going to listen in, they're going to be like, oh, that's hokey pokey. I'm telling you, it really, really works. And I've seen it with you, Victor, too, in the things since we've known each other, what you've been able to pull in.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think saying things, doing things, visualizing with feeling is very important, because the things that you do with emotion that you can feel is what your subconscious mind remembers most. Everyone remembers their first kiss, but very few people remember what they have for breakfast the next day, because that first kiss you remember because of it's emotional. Whatever you had the next day for breakfast, no one really remembers, because there wasn't strong emotion attached to it. So like, so when you do affirmations, you gotta say that with feeling and emotion, because if you don't, it's not really gonna sink into your subconscious mind. If you say, I'm great, I'm the #1 recruiter in my company, it's not gonna sink into subconscious mind. But you say, I am the #1 recruiter in my company, you say those kind of things. I am this, I am that, I am great, I am smart. When you repeat those things day in and day out, like you said, every day, your subconscious mind is going to take notice of it, and it's going to start believing it, because you're saying it with emotion. It says, wow, this person believes what he or she is saying to themselves. So I agree. Everything has to be done with feeling and emotion, because it becomes more real to you. And, your story reminds me of a couple stories I remember reading about. Number one is John Assaraf. He used to keep, a vision board, and one day he was with his little son, and his son was opening up a box, and he saw a picture of a house. And then when John Assaraf looked at the picture of the house, he started crying, because it was the house he had been visualized for several years, was actually the house he was living in right now. He visualized buying that house, and he found a way to buy that house. So I guess because of all the strong emotions and the feeling he did day in and day out, he actually found that house, and he wound up buying, and he was living in that house when his son brought up that picture. So you never know what can happen when you visualize and you do it with feeling and determination. Anything is
You've got to
possible.
your physical body. And
Yeah,
that's what I learned through Tony Robbins is it doesn't matter. Like if you're having, and again, things could be coming at you. And when you have the ability to change your state like that, you're doing it because you're moving your body. The same thing. When you want to manifest things, it's visualizing it. It's really feeling it and putting yourself in that situation. It's also writing it down, because you're switching your paradigm. And
yeah,
when you switch your paradigm, you really can program yourself. Like I still don't know. Like my end goal this year is that I will make my first $1 million in this industry. I don't know the how. I just know that the more I write, I am happy and grateful that I have manifested $1 million from multiple streams of income. It's going to happen. And if I fall short of my goal, that's okay. But and what I come across and share your experiences with me in people that you're working with, do you find that when you speak about money like that, that people just get all tensed up because they can't ever
yeah.
visualize having or having that knowingness because they've struggled for so long? To me, money is just good because it allows you, money's going to make you more of who you are. Money
Mhm.
allows you to help and give more to
Mhm.
other people.
Yeah, yeah. It can help build schools, churches, hospitals. You can do a lot of great things with it. And I agree about writing it down, especially on paper. I just seems like when I write it down on paper than on a computer, it seems to sink into more into my subconscious mind. And I, by the way, I'm also a big Tony Robbins fan. I did Unleash the Power Within like 6 years ago. And I agree, he teaches that state of being because it's not just your thing, but how you feel. Like if you're like this, like Tony Robbins or Les Brown, you feel a lot better. You feel stronger. When you're like this, droopy, guess what? Your thinking and your actions are going to follow the same pattern. So there is a big link between your state of being and everything else. So I agree. And I know when I did the fire walk, and which I know you did also, it's you got to get in that state of being, knowing that you can do it. You can do it. You believe that you can do it. Guess what? You focus on what you want and not on your fears. You don't look at the coals. You look at the people cheering you on at the end of that line, and you can do it. And we all did it. So you got to get yourself up into the steam. You can change that. Then you can accomplish great things. So I totally agree. You have that determination. Your subconscious might go to work and figure out a way to do it. Like right now, you want to do that $1 million. You don't know how you're going to do it, but you'll eventually figure out a way. But you keep your focus on that. You have the determination. It's kind of like that story at the beginning of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich when he talks about Edwin C. Barnes. He said, I'm going to be in a partnership with Thomas Edison. When he met up with him, he looked like a tramp. He came off the train. He says, I'm here to go into business with you. Now, Thomas Edison saw that he looked like a tramp, but he noticed this guy had a determined look in his eyes. So he gave him a low-level job. And within 5 years, he came up with an opportunity to sell, I think it was called the Edison dictating machine, and he became the number one seller. And guess what? Eventually, he got that partnership with Thomas Edison. Everything, all the facts said he should never have been into a partnership with Edison, but he visualized himself being into a partnership with Edison. He had the determination. He felt himself being in a partnership with Edison every single day. Even when he was at the lowest level of that company, he never gave up. He visualized that partnership. He was determined to get it, and eventually got it. So if you have that belief, that determination, the sky's the limit. So never limit yourself. Like you said, when we tell most people, when you say what they want to make, it's they you know they tense up because they can't believe it's possible. But you start thinking big, even if you fall short of your goal, you will do better. Jack Canfield shared a story many years ago. He was making $25,000 a year, and he was talking about teaching about thinking big and visualization. So his wife asked him, so can you visualize yourself making 100,000 next year? He says, oh, let me try it. So he did it. He worked on it. And he came up with all these new things, new ways of making money. He fell a little bit short. He made 92,000. He didn't make the 100,000, but he almost quadrupled his income. So he wasn't angry because he made $67,000 more, almost 4 times as much as he did as the previous year. Why? Because he changed his way of thinking. He changed his beliefs. He thought big. He visualized it, and he came up with more ways to make money. So when you think big and are open to opportunities, it's amazing the ideas that you can come up with. So I'm sure you have some stuff to add to this.
Just to piggyback off of what you just said, I just participated in a 5 master class with Bob
Mhm.
Proctor. And something he brought up that ties around mindset and money is that he always, one of the first questions he asked people is, tell me how much is the most you've ever made? And for most people, let's just say, they made $20,000 a year. He said that's their cap of what they think is possible. And, in my experience working with people and extracting that knowledge from Bob last week is when I think back of women that I've worked with, I can really tie that back to limited beliefs, because once you can make $500, you can make $1,000. Once you can make $1,000, you can get to 3,000. And it's just, again, it's about reverse engineering a concept, knowing this. And as long as you never quit and you keep making 2mm shifts, you'll get there. It's accumulated time with consistent effort and having a positive mental attitude. I want to tell you something, because my husband's been home with me because of the pandemic. So this is now my office. So I work in here in my living room, and I'm a big believer. Let's recap a couple of the things we talked about. I'm a big believer that you should have a vision board, no matter whether you're, in the corporate world, whether you're a mom, whether you're a working dad, like whatever it is, because when you have that vision board, these are the things that as you start to work towards them, you are over time going to be able to manifest this into your reality. So because I'm not down in my office and I can't put this on my walls here, I decided, okay, in my planner, I was going to make my vision board. So it studies have shown that when you visualize something, you're taking it in and you're looking at it, really should be above you, where subconsciously you're looking at it all day, but I got to do what I got to do here. But for those of you that are going to listen in, take the time, make a vision board and break it into categories, into families, spiritually, financially, how you want, what you want to bring in your body. Even if it's just a couple things, you take snapshots, pictures, like here is my beach house. You know, that's kind of what it looks like. I will manifest that over time. Like, you know, in my business, I want my website done. So like when I'm bringing this, I'm calling it into my life. So that's one of the things I would recommend is make a vision board for yourself. And if you're in a position right now where you're feeling stuck, where you feel that life's being thrown to you, it's things are always happening for you and not to you. And whatever you desire, it's just about looking outside that box. Set up a ritual, a morning day practice. Yours might look a lot different than mine. I spend an hour every morning doing a ritual of things. For you, you might only have 15 minutes. And start with 15 minutes a day and do 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of gratitude. Out of all things, if you can only do one thing, do gratitude. Write down 10 things that you're grateful for and your life will change.
No, I agree. Because the thing is, your mind cannot think two different thoughts at once. So you're focused on gratitude, you're focusing on what you have. You tend to develop an attitude of abundance instead of an attitude of lack. Because when you focus and grateful for the things you have, you can't focus on the things that you don't like in your life. So I agree. You focus on gratitude. And it's funny, every single successful person that I've ever met, pretty much, they all say the same thing. I start every morning with some gratitude. It's incredible, no matter what their background. It's one common denominator every successful person has. They focus on the things they're grateful for. They spend 5 to 10 minutes every single day. And it says it just shifted their life. It changed their life. And it's made them a happier, more successful person. So I totally agree with you. And I think we need to focus, like you said, celebrate the little victories. Like you say, if you're making $500 a month, you can make $1,000 a month and 5,000. But don't go for the big home run, the touchdown. You don't need to make 100,000 a month. If you can make a few $100s a month, celebrate it, because then your subconscious mind says, "Oh, I can do this." So every victory that you go up and up, you celebrate all those victories. Eventually, those little victories become bigger and bigger victories. I think too many people want to get the whole enchilada, but celebrate $500 a month, because it's going to become 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, etc. I think something very useful is to chunk it down. Like that's the joke. How do you eat an elephant? The answer is one bite at a time. You can't eat the whole elephant, but you eat one bite at a time, you'll eventually eat the whole elephant. And I think I totally agree with you about vision boards. They're very powerful. I look at vision boards, and the eyes are very powerful. A lot of people don't know this, but your eye, the message your eye sends to your brain are 22 times more powerful than what your ear sends to your brain. So your eyes are very powerful. So what the eyes can see, what it can visualize, is extremely powerful. So don't underestimate the things you can do. I think you gave some really great messages. Your morning routine is very important. Everyone can be a little bit different. I think, gratitude is important. I think visualization is very important. Meditation and, prayer, whatever you need to do, reading positive motivational books or listening to motivational videos, any of those things you can do in the morning is great. Especially I think the first hour, because that is when your subconscious mind is most susceptible, because you're in that theta state, you're just waking up. And also how you end your evening, I think, is very important, because again, your subconscious mind is very impressionable right before you go to sleep. So I think those things are very important. And I love Bob Proctor. You mentioned paradigm before. He's a big proponent of changing your paradigm, shifting your paradigm. He says, until you shift your paradigm, your life will not change. And I know he's mentored a lot of people into millions, and I know he's been reading Think and Grow Rich for over 50 years right now. So he's amazing.
Back out, Victor. So it's right here. And one of the biggest takeaways from last week was really from this book, and he talked about auto suggestion. So always been a big believer in affirmations and talking to stuff in the mirror and all of that. But he talked about auto suggestion. He actually talks about the thing that I about for years in this chapter was about decision.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like if you like, and I say this because I participated in another one-day virtual event yesterday with women from all
Mm-hmm.
of the world that were like, I don't even know, millions of people in it. It was Jamie Lee Curtis's, not
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lee Kern. She's launching her book today, Believe It. So Ed Milet, Lewis Howes, Tony Robbins, Robin Robbins, like they all spoke yesterday, and there were so many women
Mm-hmm.
in this virtual conference that really just shed like Ted the tears of how this
Mm-hmm.
past year, how people were really like, here, I'm ready to give up. Like one thing I'll reinforce to this is any of you that are in that state of mind, you are never alone. There are communities, whether you tie into Tony Robbins' Comeback Challenge, you tie into this group Unstoppable. There are people, don't ever, ever give up. Don't ever think of taking your own life. And I saw that so much yesterday with so many women. If you're in that state and things could be really bad, like you could be on the wake of bankruptcy, you could, possibly not be able to put food. It doesn't have to be a monetary thing that you do. Go do something for somebody else today. And
Yeah.
there's so many ways that you can do that. And that will start to change the frequency that you're operating on. And, again, it's just about making a decision because you don't have to stay where you are right now.
Yeah, you make that decision. Tony Robbins says your destiny is shaped by the decisions that you make. So you can always make a decision to change your life. Don't give up. And especially for a lot of women that are watching us, don't give up. There are a lot of great opportunities. I mean, one of the things we talk about is network marketing. Network marketing right now is 75% women. A lot of women who've made a decision to change their lives. And there are a lot of support groups out there. I mean, Eric Worre's got the Women in Network Marketing events every spring. And you and I both on Clubhouse. There's a lot of groups out there that can give you support. There are groups there for network marketing or other types of fields, any kind of field, nutrition, you name it. There's support groups out there. If you have questions about how you can do things better, there are experts out there who can give you their support and their help that can help you. So there are many channels out there, many support groups that can help you. So if you're struggling in any area of your life, go look for support. Don't give up because there are a lot of people willing to help you out there. But you got to make the decision to be vulnerable and ask for your help. If you ask for it, you will find someone who can help you.
Yeah, and to anybody that's going to watch us on the replay or for anybody's listening live, I can't see comments. I have a tremendous support group, all women, and it's not, it's about mindset. It's about good nutrition. It's about different things that you can do right now to go from underestimated to become unstoppable. I also put together a PDF. So if anybody wants resources, feel free to send me a DM, reach out to Victor. I'll get that over to you. These are times right now, that there's so many resources that are available at your fingertip. Even I look back to when I started 8 years ago, and there weren't nearly half of the things that are available now. I mean, Google's my best friend still to this day. But even back then, like there wasn't Clubhouse, there wasn't, people were just taking things to the next level with social media. You've got all different kinds of resources that whether you're looking to build something or you're looking to change something, there are a tremendous amount of resources right at your fingertips. You've just got to go and look for what you want.
No, absolutely. And you just got to believe they're out there to help you. One thing a lot of people have to understand, there's something in your brain called the reticular activating system. And what that does, because your mind is bombarded with so many thoughts, that the RAS, the reticular activating system, works as a filter. So it only allows the things that you consider important. So it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, it's what you consider important. So that's why, for example, if you decide I'm going to get a red car, all of a sudden when you go outside, you notice all these red cars. They were always there, but you never paid attention to it until you decide you want to get a red car. So whatever you consider important, you're going to notice. That's why many things that we think about become a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the reticular activator will focus only on the things that you believe is true. So that's why if you don't believe in any opportunity, someone can come up with a great opportunity for you. You won't even notice it because you're going to filter it out. So you need to work on your RAS system so that it's open to opportunities and support and help. So if you change how you view things, that be open to the possibility that people can help you, they want to serve you, they want to help get, make your life better. But you need to change, you have to open up your RAS system to believe that it's available. And if you do, you'd be amazed at the amount of people coming to help you, the amount of opportunities out there that can help change your life. So you just need to change your focus. But remember, where energy, what's the saying? Energy,
Where,
where energy goes, focus flows.
yeah, powerful. Really good stuff. I am so happy that we could spend, really happy and grateful that we could spend some time together this morning and just have this discussion in regards to just changing what's in front of you and how you can bring that to fruition.
No, absolutely. And thank you so much, Minnie, for coming on today. You shared a lot of great stuff with everyone. Thanks for sharing your story, for your wisdom. And I know a lot of the people in the audience got a lot out of it today. And for the women in the audience, definitely reach out to Mindy. She can give you a lot of great tips and advice and support. And she wants to strengthen and empower women in this industry. So definitely, reach out to her. So Mindy, what is the best way for people to contact you?
The best way for people to contact me, send me a message on Facebook and I will get back. If you're not on Facebook, which most people are, but I still find every now and then that people are not on Facebook, you can go to workwithmindee.com and that will direct you on how to connect with me.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so everyone, she just told you, connect with her. I've known Mindy for a lot of years. She has a wonderful heart. She loves to help people. She loves to empower women, and she's accomplished a lot. So she's a certified coach in 3 different modalities, best-selling author, a top earner in network marketing. So she's got a lot of wisdom. She loves to help people. Again, Mindy, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate the time that you took and for your stories and for the wisdom you shared with us. I know everyone got a lot out of it.
Thank you so much, Victor. Bye-bye, everybody. Feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks. Have a great day, Mindy. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.